Hello, hi. Today I wanted to do a video on obviously tarantula related, but sling mainly. Yesterday was so scary, it was just horrible. Sorry, the camera's shaking. Basically, I've got a little sling. I keep saying basically, I don't know why. But I've got a sling and he's called Jalapeno. He's a Mexican fire leg. And he's like only that big. He's only Diddy. Move over him a bit. And we place this here. Sorry, God. That may fall. It may not. Okay, that's stable. I've put him in this container. It's just a normal hummus kind of container. Excuse the face, don't ask. Just a normal container. But yesterday, I looked over at all the tarantulas just to see how they're doing. And then I noticed, I thought that he was escaping. So I've looked over and I was like, oh shit, go and get the cup. You know, he's about to run out. And because it's quite a fast sling, so I was like, you know, need to be quick, need to go now, now, now. And he was there and he was like doing all this. And I was like, okay, so he's not coming out. I was watching him like the entire time. And he just wasn't coming out. So I've picked up his enclosure and he's stuck. And basically, I don't think you can see it, but well, you can't see the hole because that was shredded. But it was in this area. He was stuck like round about here where, like there's the air hole, so it was like measured. So it'd be like round about here. So we were there like taking this off, and the poor thing, he's got his front bit of his body through and his legs minus one leg, the back one, which was sort of like stuck on top of his abdomen behind. And his abdomen, because he's ready to molt, and also when I first got him he was overfed, so his abdomen is quite large. So we had to be so gentle, and it was like the most scariest 45 minutes of my life. I got my husband to do it, and we literally were cutting little bits off to try and get him, like there's a tiny bit, and to try and get him. So we managed to cut just like the small area of where he was, and then got rid of that, and then we just like started like trimming round. It was so scary because he was struggling, and then like, there was a few times when he stopped moving, and I was like gently touching his legs with the paintbrush and with a little bit of moss, so he could grab on, hopefully see if he could pull himself through. But he couldn't, and he stopped moving like twice. There was, you know, there was just no movement from him, no matter how much I was like, you know, gently touching his legs and, you know, his little pedipalps. I was doing all sorts, and he was just so limp, and I thought, oh no, he's dead. So there's me crying, shaking and everything, because it's my first tarantula, and I absolutely love him, and I hate seeing any animal, no matter how big or small, in distress. So it just frightens the life out of me, and my husband had to do it because I was just shaking and I was coming up with so many bad ideas. So thank God he was here, because I was like, what about if we melt the plastic and, you know, things like that. I was just panicking. I would never do that. But I was just panicking so much. I'm trying to see if I can find the little bit where he was, but I don't know what's happened with that. So I was just panicking, and he'd stopped moving, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh my God, I've killed him. Because basically what it was is the air hole, it was quite large. I'm using this as an excuse, like example, excuse. It was quite large, but I thought, like before I rehomed him into this one, because he's currently in this one, and I can't really see him too well. So I'm having to like disturb him by taking the lid off. Hello. There he is. Taking the lid off just to check on him, see if he's okay. And, you know, like just a spritz in there. So I was like, okay, I want a clear one, because the others are in clear, like in a clear one. And I can see them. You know, I don't have to disturb them by taking off the lid and stuff. This one's like the most disturbed spider ever. It's like just wants peace and quiet, and I can't give it him because I'm constantly like taking off the lid. Not constantly, but you know, I'll do it twice a day, just to make sure that they're all okay. And yeah, so the hole, what I thought I did was is I melted it to get the holes in there. You melt, and that one was quite large, so I was like, oh, okay, I need to melt a bit of plastic and then like attach it onto the outside bit. And I thought I did it really well. Obviously I didn't, so it was my fault, you know, that happened, and it was just horrible, and it was really sad that it happened. And people are like, oh, it's just a spider, but it's not, is it? It's not just a spider. You know, so it was awful. Like you can see here, that one there, that's, I don't know if you can see it, that's quite a large one, but the plastic, I'd melted, I've been picking on it, I'd melted it so it was just like, you know, smaller than that. So there was no way he could have fit through there. And so I'd done the same with the other one, and yeah, we all make mistakes, don't we? And it was just horrible, but he is okay, he's fine. But it was just so horrible because we had can't remember what I we had little scissors, and I had to hold the top bit so the plastic didn't fling back and, you know, cause damage to him. And then Mike, he had to, you know, gently cut, so I was there with like one eye looking at his little abdomen through the thing, and I was like, no, you know, the scissors are going a bit too close, or yeah, you're okay, cut. And it was just horrible. And then in the end he'd managed like to slit it just enough where like the hole was, just so we can, you know, put it apart. So we was there the whole time. I'm there with my hands like that just in case he drops, and the cat was around, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, God, it sounds like it wasn't really that bad, but here it was like, oh my God, it was just like panicking. I was spotting from a wall. Okay. Just saw a little house spider walking across the wall. Oh God. Another pet? No, he'd kill me. Not the spider, Mike. So yeah, you know, what was I saying? Where was I? But yeah, it was just so really bad. It was just nerve-wracking, and you know, if you are in the hobby, then you'll know how passionate, you know, you can be about your tarantulas and, you know, their well-being, their safety. You know, otherwise you'd just kill them and whatever, you just wouldn't be bothered. I mean, you wouldn't even be in the hobby, would you? So yeah, it was just a nightmare. So he was there, and he was like, okay, the plastic's gonna break, and I was there like that, and I was like, okay, I'll set up his old enclosure. So I was there like piling in the substrate and dirt all over everywhere, and I was just like panicking in case it fell through. But it was horrible. I think that we have like when we were putting it apart, at first I thought, you know, it's cut him open, and because I could see like little white bits, but it was just the plastic. So that was lucky it wasn't blood. And so Mike was sitting there, and he was pulling the plastic apart, and we were then, I was like with the paintbrush trying to coax him through, and then we were like, okay, he's gonna drop, because he was then pushing himself back through the hole, like backwards. So I was there with his new enclosure with the substrate underneath him, so like he's there. So I piled it quite high so he didn't have far to fall. And then, yeah, so he'd come out, and the corner of the plastic bit was literally like, if my partner didn't have steady hands, like he's got the most steadiest hands ever, he could be a surgeon. And so he was like holding it, and if he'd let go, and then there's like a sharp plastic bit where we had to like cut through, and if he'd let go, that would have gone like straight through the side of his abdomen, and it would have been, ooh, yeah, it would have been so bad. But obviously, like, it would have been instant. I'm hoping, you know, if that did happen, you know, glad it didn't happen. But he is okay now. He's recovering. He was like on my hand. He was on my hand for a while, and then like he was just like running up my arm. So I was like, okay, he's fine. He's okay again. And then I was just like, I don't want to put you back here. So he was like crawling all over me, and I was like, oh. I was looking at him and everything, and he was fine. Looking at him like, yeah. But he was totally fine, thank God. That could have gone so bad. The poor little guy, you know, I'll see if we can get him. 1 second. So this is his enclosure. I don't know if I'm recording it. And he is just over here. I don't know if you can see him properly because of the light. Where is he? There he is. So he seems okay. He seems, I don't know, a little bit distressed, I think. He does seem a little bit more shiny on his abdomen. I don't know if that was because, I don't know if it like scraped him off a little bit. You know, so I'm really not too sure on that. Let me just put the lid on. So I don't know if it was like because of the plastic and the way that it was. I mean, it was quite sharp as well, so that was a huge worry because it was quite sharp. So I wasn't too sure if taken off a layer. I don't know, but yeah. So glad that we got him out of there and he's in his old enclosure. So I don't know. I think that next time I do this, probably just use a pin. Because I was using some scissors, heating up the scissors and then like just putting like little slits through. But that one, I don't know, like it seemed like the heat had travelled up a little bit, so it made like quite a huge like slash. So I was there like melting plastic onto that on the outside, and you know, just trying to seal a lot of it off. But I don't know. I don't know, but we all make mistakes, and this was definitely a huge lesson learned. You know, in that one he's fine. I've checked all the holes, I've gone round to all of them, and I've made sure that the rest, they can't escape. Even though I think that the AVIC would be a bit too scared to escape, because whenever I can leave the lid off and she just won't, or he just won't come to the surface. Currently like burrowed in like a little tunnel of web. But yeah, so that was the horrific adventure I had to do at 11:15 last night until 12 o'clock. It was just, oh my God, it was so nerve-wracking. I really needed the wine. I was like, I need a glass of wine. Couldn't stop shaking because I'm really passionate about animals. I can't stand seeing any kind of animal. You know, even an ant. I mean, like, you know, people are like, oh, it's like extreme, but it's really not. I just care about nature. And yeah, but so message to you is make sure that the holes are not big, and if you think that they can get, you know, 4 legs through, and then maybe, you know, scrap that one and then start fresh. And they should only be very small, like these ones. I don't know if you can see. There's quite a few rounds there that are very small, like this one here. That's in the bottom of the substrate, so that's fine. And it is very small. There's no way that he can fit more than a leg through. So they are very small holes. So always make sure that they can't escape through the holes. So I was thinking of putting him in this one. There is currently a dead cricket. I killed the cricket with an orange. Not on purpose. That's me saying I love nature and I care about them, and I've killed a cricket. But I don't know if you can see. Not my fault. I'd put an orange in there just so they can, you know, they like to drink oranges and stuff, especially these kind of crickets. And there was a big one in there and some small ones, and 2 died because of the orange juice. They were walking all over the orange, and then the orange juice was like dripping in. So yeah, that is it. Thank you for watching, and always make sure that you do check the thingies, the air holes, that they're not too big. and that they can't escape. I'm starting to measure it now, like, you know, if they can fit more than one leg through and it's quite big, then no, best not to do that. Just melt, you know, small holes. I mean, if you're not convinced that it's not enough air holes and that not big enough air holes, and then just put multiple ones in, it's not really going to make much difference. Because they're that small, they won't really need that much oxygen, but I always do make sure that there is enough. I mean, there's air holes all the way around, and on top of the lid, so on top of the lid, and then all the way around. Again, you can't climb up there, but I don't want to tilt it too much. Camera might fall. Oh, didn't. So just always make sure, because you don't want to have an escapee or a trapped one that you could end up chopping off its legs and stabbing its abdomen. That's how close we were last night, and it was just so horrific, and I'm so glad that it's over and I'll never have to do that again because I've learned. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe and share this wonderful message to one and all. And the hand. Thank you. Bye.